sun and air of nothing in particular. Should you know, how can you say I go about things the wrong way? I am human and I need to be loved, just like everybody else does. what's your vice wish? Hey little sister shotgun, oh yeah. Hey little sister, who's your Superman? Hey little sister shotgun. It's a nice day to start again. It's a nice day for a white wedding. It's a nice day to start again. Ow.
Just about do, mate. Surely. There you go. That's outstanding. That much talent run around in our own backyard.
Ladies and gentlemen, the semi-pros. The semi-pros.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up.
Let's go!
Down here, anything's possible. A first degree, a second career, a way to advance. As the #1 uni for graduate employment in Queensland, the University of Southern Queensland has helped over 100,000 students become more from more places, on their own terms, in their own time, with 24/7 access and over 100 online degrees. Become more from more places with USQ.
Toowoomba Together wants to break the silence by empowering our sporting clubs to join together and embed social change. Do we accept abusing players or officials? Not in our club.
Do we accept verbal, physical or mental abuse towards women, men or our kids? Not in our club.
Do we accept foul language? Not in our club.
Not in our club.
Not in our club.
Number 11, team captain, Raquel Speeds. Presented by Bogus and Accountants. Number 30, Paula Speeds. Number 15, presented by QSL Project Services, Kirsten Lottis. Number 17, sponsored by CD Precision Drilling, Rebecca Scott. Head coach for the team, we have Matt Cox, assisted by Monica Conway, managed by Lindria Lynch, and physio for the team, Scott Weber. Please stand for the national anthem.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with golden soil and wealth of toil. Our home is good by sea, our land abounds in nature's gifts, all beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage of lands Australia bear. In John Bell's praise, and let us sing of lands
And I must be moving on. Now I believe in what you say is the undisputed truth. But I have to have things my own way to keep me in my youth. Like a ship without an anchor, like a slave without a chain. Just the thought of those sweet ladies and the shiver through my veins. And I will go on shining, shining like brand new. I'll never look behind me, my troubles will be few.
Lost your dog. Can do, yeah. James isn't far off too.
Goodbye, stranger. It's been nice. Hope you find your paradise. Glad to see you. Point of view. Hope your dreams will all come true. Goodbye, Mary. Goodbye, Jane. Will we ever meet again? Feel no sorrow. Feel no shame. No feel more. Feel no pain.
Sweet devotion, it's not for me. Just give me motion, set me free. Land in the ocean, far away. Life I've chosen every day. So goodbye, Mary. Goodbye, Jane. Will we ever meet again? Now some they do and some they don't, and some you just can't tell.
Welcome out to Clive Berghofer Recreation Centre. We welcome you out again. Another edition of the Toowoomba Mountaineers home season. We're brought to you tonight by GDI Property Group, and we've got the visiting Sunshine Coast Rip City, so the USC Rip City who come to town here, and in what will be an interesting matchup. So as we look at the table, USC do sit there at a 500 record, 4 starts for 2 wins, 2 losses, where Mountaineers down the bottom of the table at the moment, 5 games for just the 1 win, but have shown some incredible promise over the last few weeks, and are looking to welcome back a few big names onto the roster. So we've got Michaela Allen Gullion back on the court tonight. So she missed a few weeks with a pretty bad head knock she copped down at the North Gold Coast Seahawks. So she'll be welcome into the fray today. We do see out in the warm-up there is a looks to be a couple of injuries on their front, but I think they're at just about as good a strength as they can put forward, the Mountaineers. And welcome, better late than never, but the captain of the semi-pros, James O'Shea.
G'day, Steve.
Welcome
How are you?
Did you fit that massage in this afternoon?
No, I
mate?
didn't actually. I missed that. I was too busy trying to count your scores on the golf course. You were going that well. I've got enough flames off those to cool us all down.
Yes, but big night out here tonight, mate. We got the USC Rip City, and we see tip-off has just got us underway. And Alan Gullion pulls up for the first shot of the game. He's blocked off the back of the
Steve,
ring.
really looking forward to watching her play, actually. Obviously missed the first game of the season there, but she stepped straight into a rhythm jumper there. And, unfortunately missed so, but I think she makes a big difference to this side, as we see also out there on the court there, Raquel Spees, obviously Lunas in the middle, so Brittany Hayes. The other starters on the court.
It's Kiana Lynch, yeah, and she's been shared with the ball handling responsibilities. Her here, and Hayes and Lunas working on that high on ball as Hayes overcooks one. But good matchup here. So USC at a mentioned in the pre-game report, a 500 record, 2 wins, 2 losses for their season, and Mountaineers looking to add to their tally of just the 1 win, but it's a welcome back with a few players in that one, and we spoke about is Gullion is no good on the little pop-up in transition.
But yeah, very important night, I think, this for the women Mountaineers, Steve, so they really need to get one back. We saw them here a couple of weeks ago. They were really good, getting that first win of the season, then obviously understaffed and on the road to play the other team from up on the North Coast, unfortunately unable to get the job done there. So back home here now, they need to probably get another one on the board here, but a sluggish start, we have to say, from them and from both teams.
Both teams struggling to put the ball in the hole there, so having some good looks, some good transition there from Rip City. As they slide down the half court now. Shot clock winding down, so it's going to be something.
Oh, a little scoop.
Jasmine Blundell scoops one through, steps through, and opens the account for both teams. So 2-0 early on in Speeds.
See the Rip extending a bit of pressure there. Yeah, great pass inside. Hayes does all the hard work again, but just cannot get that one to go. Stolen here by Spees.
Again, bobbled around, Hayes kicks out. Gullion steps into a 3. Back of the rim, so no love early for the import, Michaela Allen Gullion.
She's got a couple of good looks.
Yeah,
but,
she has. She's had a few weeks out of the game as well with that concussion that she did suffer. So she, no doubt, like all shooters, like to see a couple go down early. Offensive rebound, Rip steps through, but too many steps on the way through there. So turnover, Alani Shibna. So we see an early change.
Brittany Hayes and Michaela Allen Gullion coming out of the game.
Second to the Lynch. Twisters checks in. Ash Lynch. Some backcourt pressure here, and yeah, there it is. Over the limit in the backcourt. So unable to avoid the 8-second violation. So good pressure up the court there from Rip. Looks like we had a few dramas with the grandstand here this morning too.
Just looking at that, I walked in, I was settled
foldables.
I thought this looks different.
Yeah, no, apparently a few mechanical technicalities didn't go their way.
You could have helped them with that, surely.
Yeah, well, probably not. I could hit it with a hammer and try and
Inside to Lunas here, gets a little turnaround. That one doesn't go. Spees works hard, takes the contact. Lunas rebound again. She'll head to the line.
So Spees and Lunas both come out with a few opportunities there on the second
It was a
chance.
quick breather from Michaela.
It was, mate, just a
6 seconds or so, say, one possession.
squirt of water, relace the shoes, back in to the action. Lunas rims out on the first, looking for Mountaineers' first points of the night.
You did it!
And rattles around. But
2 plays 1. There's the score, 3.5 in here.
so Rip settle into a bit of on-ball action as look to penetrate against this 2-3 look zone from the Mountaineers. Again, offensive rebounds.
Far too many second chance opportunities at the moment for the Rip. They're able to make them count.
Hildebrand's no good, and Spee's opportunity in the transition turns that one over, and Rip will come straight back at him.
Just a little bit out of sync at the moment, the women Mountaineers. Not a lot of flow to their offense in the early stages here.
See Dagman check in for Sheebner
Defense.
for the Rip.
Defense. Let's go. Defense. Let's go. Defense.
Hildebrand short on the 3, and Lynch looks to attack, finds Julian, cleaned up by Mickelson, but that's overcooked there, and Hildebrand in transition gets the easy bucket. So a bit sloppy early on from the Mountaineers on the offensive end, and now the pressure comes from the Rip.
Michaela Allen Julian breaks that, gets through the middle of the lane, looks for the contact, and it's not forthcoming. So the Rip come back the other way.
Hildebrand again off the back of the rim. Lunas comes up. I think you're going to see substitution. So Lynch in for Lynch. Ash out. Kiana in.
So halfway through the first quarter here, the Rip, again, another offensive rebound. And they make the most of it.
Yeah, Millie Wilcox puts that one back in. Long pass.
Full court pressure is certainly causing some dramas for the Mountaineers here. Inside Raquel Spees, that's a pretty good option. That one a little unlucky to rim out that way though.
Last touch by the Rip, so baseline inbound for the Mountaineers. See a few personnel changes. Gillian gets another breather.
Katie Holt into the game.
First minutes of the night. So. Nicholson, turnover again, straight in off the inbound from the Mountaineers. Another opportunity in transition for the Rip. Bobbled around, so probably not the start both teams were looking for out here. It's a bit of a cool night. Might be taking a little bit longer for the Bones to warm up, but
Not
see
to
another
be,
turnover.
to put it politely, it's been pretty ugly, Steve, I'd have to say. Both coaches, both teams would be a little disappointed with what they've seen thus far, but in particular, as he calls a timeout here, I think it's a necessary one as well. Coach Matt Cox has got some work to do here. The Mountaineers, to be honest, have never looked in any flow offensively or defensively right from the opening tip. They've just been out of sync. They've been...
As there's turnovers, you haven't got the stats up, but I think we're probably looking at 6 or 7 turnovers in the first half of the first quarter here. And they just haven't been, as you said, settled into any sort of rhythm whatsoever and look any threat of scoring at the moment. So we're looking for the, Katie Holt out there, Kiana Lynch, just to, although young, take a bit of leadership, settle into the offense and get a good couple of possessions, whether they need to bang it into Lunas and in the block there and get a couple of easy possessions and easy points just to settle the nerves.
Even those things that we've seen in the past, a couple of weeks ago where they looked really good, they're able to just the ball movement, but here the passing is passing into traffic, and it's They're getting picked off rather easily at this stage. They're actually struggling to break that full court press from the Rip as well. And they just struggle to probably have that extra ball carrier with Michaela Allen-Gullion off the floor, which we see again here in this situation. So we'll see what adjustments they've been able to make here, but you can see the Rip extend that pressure. They get inbound, so Holt now to try and get them over half court. They break the press this time. But now just looking to...
foul Woods on that occasion, Eliza Woods.
But credit to the Rip. I mean, whilst they've had their... I suppose they haven't been as fluent in offense as I'm sure they would have liked as well, but defensively, the pressure that they have applied is what has led to some easy buckets for them.
Yeah, it is. And Lunas along two on that occasion, short. Yeah, they have, and they've looked the more likely on the offensive end as well, being able to get a couple shots to drop. We've got 8 plays won. The visiting Rip are in front. They slash through the lane. Foul that time. I think will go on Lynch.
And that's the tough reality at the moment for the Mountaineers, as you said, that scoreline at 8-1. So essentially, the local girls haven't been able to make a bucket yet, as Michaela Allen-Gullion, so she'll nearly be giddy up and down off the chair so far in the first quarter. But
when the music stops, I must try and find her.
She's back in. But look, I think it's necessary, Steve. I think she needs to be on the court. She's the strongest ball carrier they've got. Whilst they've been a bit disjointed, she's looked the most likely offensively as well. So, but I think it's just about her getting going. We know that she can score the basket. Well, we've seen that on a number of occasions this season, but it's just about getting her the ball in good positions. And
that pressure again, just causing problems for the Mountaineers. They don't capitalise that time, but they stay in possession through Willocks. Long bomb that time. Jess Johnson hits the 3, 13 plays once. They've been able to open up a good little buffer here early on. That's a good dish and fine. Lunas got to finish that one. She gets another chance. Can't get it to go. Needs to do better on the offensive end. She got a great little handoff there from Allen-Gullion.
And that's where she is potent, Michaela Allen-Gullion. We've seen here and being able to get those opportunities. She's the one, as I said, where with ball in hand there, she's their strongest ball handler. I'd probably like to see her probably playing in that point guard position where you'll see her be able to create opportunities like that. Unfortunately, Lunas was unable to capitalise on that particular occasion. But 13-1, unusual scoreline.
Step back from Diegman, that was good. Come up again, offensive rebounds and turnovers. They're not going to help anybody, and it's a reflection of where we're at in the game. Down 12 early on. Holt copping some pressure as well, and Rip is just causing all sorts of problem in the backcourt for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, defensively, as I said, is where they're getting all of their opportunities from their good defence, the Rip or the Mountaineers' inability to control. And I think this is where the Mountaineers need to take control through Michaela Allen-Gullion, who does again. He just serves up a nice pass inside. Foul on the floor there, so will probably be a baseline there.
Yeah, Phoebe Hinn's in the action, so Gullion from deep. That one's good. First field goal of the game. So that'll be a welcome relief for the coaching staff of Matt Cox.
Yeah,
his
absolutely.
assistants over there on the bench. They'll be happy to see that go down, I think. Allen-Gullion too in her first game back. She gets the offensive rebound, looks to push. Got Holt running the lane. She'll pull up, prop up.
Can't get that one to drop.
Good looking transition, but Bees getting back there. Affects the block. Saves the easy bucket. So
22 is Blundell.
it's where Rip have really gained that advantage. Sort of on the defensive end, getting the stops and getting the easy buckets is really
And just those second,
giving them the
those second
ascendancy.
opportunities as well is something where you're going to see them again. Like, I'd hate to. I'll be
Again,
frightened
go
to see.
again. They're right on cue.
I'd be frightened to see the stats actually at quarter time of offensive rebounds. So the amount of second chance, third chance, fourth chance that this team has got.
Hayes finds Spees. She looks to get to the bucket.
She'll go to the line to find two, but as we said, very, very disjointed offensively here. This the full court pressure is really causing some havoc here for the young Mountaineers. So the struggle to get the ball over half court then in turn is causing some issues, I suppose, getting through their half court sets. But Raquel Spees here will try and add a couple of free throws. Makes the first. All important free throws here, all important points. They're all important at the moment for the Mountaineers. They do a good job there. So 13 plays 6. So 13 plays 6. Look, Steve, the positive here for the Mountaineers is that they have been not very good in the first quarter, but the margin's only 7.
Certainly is, yeah. They
So if they
probably
can
couldn't have tried any harder to give the Rip an opportunity to establish a decent lead. And now Lernus attacking. 21 over a back violation called there. So
all of a
21
sudden,
to
if they can get a bucket here and they can go off down only 5, I think that's a really, really, really good result.
Yes, yeah. Considering the play we've seen in the first quarter.
Allen gets to the ball.
I'll get the last shot of the quarter
caught her.
anyway. And it looks
She's
like
gone the
Gillion's
ice
going to look for Lernus inside. She rattles
She
it
rewards her
around.
this time, so the good look inside. She gets position, makes the 2.
Did go early, so Rip will get the opportunity to answer. There's 3 on the clock. Clock winding down. Shot's got to go.
So some positive signs there, I have to say, for the Mountaineers. Some really positive signs. So 13-8, Steve, so that means they've basically gone on a 7-0 run. They were down 13-1. So that last 4 minutes or so of that quarter has been really, really good for the Toowoomba Mountaineers. So defensively, they were able to obviously stop the baskets, but again, still those second chance opportunities, the offensive rebounds are something that are really, really hurting them at the moment. And look, they just need to be able to break that press, and it's been the biggest influence so far on the game.
Yeah, it has been. Like you said it earlier, it's quite ugly. Ugly is probably the word from both teams. It hasn't been enterprising basketball in any case, but it's sort of how they dig in and how they regroup and whoever gets into their sets. I don't think anybody's looked really comfortable. Rips have obviously had the better looks in the half court and capitalised on being able to get those stops in the back court, some easy transition baskets. But outside of those transition baskets, they haven't really been able to settle into their offense either and capitalise on any well, the shots. They're getting the better looks, but they aren't going down. So I suppose a 5-point deficit is probably as happy as you'd be with a 5-point deficit.
I agree.
At any
I think
points in the first quarter.
I think it's a really, really good result for the Mountaineers as the stats do come through here for us, and we can have a look at it.
Yeah, 9 turnovers there for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, so that's a significant 9 turnovers. So 9 turnovers they've had on that occasion. So on that first quarter, so 9 turnovers is obviously far, far too many, and something that I'm sure Coach Cox will be talking about here at the huddle.
The offensive rebounds as well. So 8 for the Rip, and it's led to 7 offensive, 7 second chance points from those. So really, the ball games. To the eye, it appeared that was what was costing the Mountaineers. So it'll be interesting to see how the adjustments go. And Alan Goulion, obviously Lernus is going to be a focus inside. Distinct height advantage. Get a good seal.
Yeah, lovely little runner inside there. So We'd like to see her get going. I'm sure Michaela Allen Gullion. And looking through the team list here, we see so there is no Taylor Ferris, so she's not playing tonight. That's a big out for the young Mountaineers. This is where we need some players to step up. And also a note, there is no young Conway, who was so good a couple of weeks ago.
She was. She come on.
Laura.
She really provided a spark on both the offensive and defensive ends. There we go. Ellen Gillion looks at attack, pushes off, called on that occasion. So she just used that forearm to spread a bit of room, but well defended by Abby Hildebrand. She's called for the offensive foul.
Yeah, and I thought it was great defence there from Abby Hildebrand. So she held her ground, and in many ways, probably Michaela Allen Gullion gave herself up there. To be honest.
She did, yeah. Palm off. You'd be happy to see that one on Wednesday night in the State of Origin to clear a bit of space. Hopefully we see the Maroons doing that more so.
But here the Mountaineers forcing almost forcing a turnover. So a good outcome and a good result here. So again, this full court pressure from the Rip. Whitney Hayes inside there, so let's see what they can come up with now. The Mountaineers, Michaela Allen Gullion, so working on the outside, takes a little step back three. That one catches nothing. So probably just a little bit out of rhythm at the moment, as you said, Michaela Allen Gullion, having missed nearly a month of basketball, but again, she still does look quite simply the Mountaineers most likely to score. And again, we can see here, so she's the one that can easily break down this full court press. She dishes off there to Lunas, out to Hayes, floats up in the corner. That one catches the top corner of the board. And here the young Rip outrunning the Mountaineers as well. They've got to be better with that as well in terms of getting back.
Yeah, offensive transition's been good for the Rip, and that's where they've scored the lion's share of their points. Lunas, what a cop one on the arm there. No call forthcoming from the referee, and here they go again. That little lob pass and the easy bucket, but it rattles out for Diegman. So opportunities in and around the basket too, just not being finished by both teams.
So the captain back on the floor now for the Mountaineers as well, Raquel Spees. So I think the important two for the Mountaineers are Spees and Allen Gullion. So now that they're on the court together, I think it gives the Mountaineers their most likely scoring options, gives them their strongest five on the court here as well. So as we see a little on-ball screen here, Spees cuts through the lane.
Deflected out of bounds by Rips, Mountaineers ball.
But that's better offense from the Mountaineers. So the little on ball, the screen up the top, so Spees then be able to run that little two-man game. And whilst they weren't able to get the bucket, it did result in a good shot attempt that's resulted in a now going to the free throw line. But just without that secondary offensive threat, I suppose it does draw a lot of attention on Michaela Allen Gullion.
Does. You see the Rip on a little run of their own, a 7-0 run to stretch the lead to 10. Speed's trying to close that up. She does by one on the first attempt. Misses on the second.
Raquel Spees commits one free throw.
Does Rip get the opportunity now to attack through Jess Johnson?
Hits the ground hard.
Blocked by Raquel Spees.
Out of bounds. So for the Rip, Abby Hildebrand has been the chief killer on the offensive end. It's come about. Something's happening here. A bit of discussion for the referees. I don't know. The foul was called.
Mountaineers Mountaineers coach.
Something.
Matt Cox
It's too
looks a
far.
little-
Line up for free throws. Back to baseline. So ends up being a Rip City baseline ball.
Gee, they've got some movement in that little
Did a little curl cut around.
mouse trap.
It was, yeah, a little sneaky one. Fooled the defence, and Lani Sheebnar will go to the line to shoot two. Hobbling around a bit, might have copped a little corky to the thigh there, so. She makes good on the first attempt. Rattles the second out. Lunas comes up with the defensive rebound, and they look to push a little lob pass from Ash Lynch there. So
Toowoomba ball.
left a little bit too much time for the defense to get up and in the lane and cause the deflection. Alan Gullion now, she works in a two-man game with Spees, rolls, finds the jumper, but no good. And Rip look to push. Hildebrand, there she is. So she's got 8 this quarter early on in the second. That's 13-point lead, 24 to the visiting Rip. Play. The Toowoomba Mountaineers 11, and Alan Gullion looks for the answering 3. That one, didn't like that one off the hand. She chased it hard. Can't get the rebound. Rip come up with that one and secure. Little tip on. So, yeah, fairly stagnant offense then from Mountaineers. We've seen Alan Gullion firing away, but can't get the shots to connect, and there just isn't much happening. The ball's bobbling around. It just looks like the Rip just wanted a bit more at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a very good observation, Steve, and you can see that, one, with the offensive rebounds, 2, also, as Coach Coxon's called a timeout. And again, this is one where they need to sort this out. The leads have ballooned out to 26-11, but just going back to what you said before, I think it's a good observation. They do just want it a bit more at the moment. You're seeing them when they are able to get those stops defensively. They're leading the break well. They're running the lanes. They're up and in defensively. They're pretty well drilled, actually. As I said, you saw that sneaky little players going every which direction before, and that little offensive set that they had there in terms of on the inbound play. And it reflects in the scoreboard. I think the Mountaineers probably were lucky, to be honest, to go off at the end of the first quarter with the margin with what it was. Did a good job to pull it back. But this game has been all about the visitors. They have most certainly been the most dominant team on the court. And as I said, I think a 15-point margin at the moment is quite reflective of the game.
It is. They were able to narrow it down. I think we were 13-10.
13-11. Yeah, or 13-10, sorry.
13-10,
Yeah.
I think it was, yeah. And Rip have just dominated ever since then. But look, Mountaineers just need some energy out there. They look flat on both offense and defense. We saw Laura Conway, who's not on the sheet tonight. She provided that spark here 2 weeks ago, but the challenge is out there, I guess. The challenge and the opportunity for one of the younger brigade to go out there and provide that energy, hustle for the ball, and basically lead the way. They need somebody to take the bull by the horns and really steer the ship and get back on track, because if they don't, this could blow out and get ugly quickly.
Yeah, and a 15-point margin, as we said already at the moment, and this is a team at the moment that has struggled to score. So a 15-point lead potentially for this young Mountaineers team could feel like 30. So Raquel Spees with the ball in hand now, and she breaks that press. So we'll see what the Mountaineers can do here from the inbound. Spees is a nice pass inside, and she just can't finish again.
Runas, again, getting some good opportunities.
So now interesting, the Mountaineers look to be going towards a press
Bit of
themselves.
fighting fire with fire. Works on that
Straight away,
occasion.
it
Alan
leads.
Gullion.
So straight away, this is what you're talking about, Steve. So this is the opportunity here. This is defense is all about effort. Now in at this press, they need to work hard. resulted in a turnover instantly. And now they've got another stop here. Michaela Allen-Gullion leading the break here as well. Gets up and in, nice, 2 points.
Good bit of energy there for the Mountaineers. They needed something. They needed to change there, and we see a stop come through Spees on a high cross-court pass, and Allen-Gullion.
Great energy here from the Mountaineers. Gee, they look a different team. Working hard down low. Unfortunately, Lundis unable to grab that rebound there, but yeah, this is a lot better stuff from the Mountaineers. There's one of those famous Toowoomba USQ rolls for the Rip. How that one didn't go in. Gullion gets inside.
Finishing with the non-preferred left hand that time. Little 6-0 run for the Mountaineers, just what the doctor ordered.
Perfect. Gee, even you're a bit energised by that as well.
Rabbits Warren, mate, I watched the interview today and he said if the crowd's excited, you need to get excited. So if it's good enough for a Hall of Famer, mate, it's good enough for a...
That's a good call. I'm not going to argue with you right there. But this is really good for the Mountaineers. You mentioned before, you said it looked like the visitors wanted it more. The Mountaineers have turned that around. You're going to say, love the energy that they've produced there, and it started with their defence.
Oh, I certainly did. Couple of stops, couple of easy buckets in behind the rim there too. So Allen-Gullion, good effort there, both from Spees on the defensive end, and something had to change, something had to give for the Mountaineers. They couldn't go on. The lackluster effort on both the offensive and defensive ends, that certainly turned around. Hopefully they grab this momentum. They've got it back to single figures now, so it's a 9-point ball game. The visitors still do lead 26, plays 27. We've got a lot of time left in the first half, 4 minutes 40 to play. And that little run, no doubt Rip will make some adjustments here onto how they're going to accommodate this extra intensity from the Mountaineers. But I'd like to see that still happen from the Mountaineers. Push up and in, get a couple more stops, and really try and put the pressure back on the visitors.
And I think we've seen as well, Steve, Michaela Allen-Gullion, whilst obviously we know she likes that outside shot, and it's obviously one that she can make, as she proved in the earlier games of the season. But when she puts the ball on the floor, when she gets into the lanes, and she can produce like we've seen these last few minutes, that's really going to open up things for the Mountaineers, because whilst they were sort of stagnant on the outside, it made it a lot easier to defend. But this is one part I'm sure they do need to pick up on, and that is grabbing those defensive rebounds. And Lewis delivers, so it's right there. Spees leading the way up now for the young Mountaineers. Gets a picket pocket from behind. Pocket picked.
Picket pocket, Peter Pepper.
That's him.
Peter Pepper.
Yeah. Pickle peppers.
See Willox attacking Lunas. Good on the defensive end. Mickelson, chance in offensive transition for the Mountaineers.
Come over here, forced to pick up the ball. Now, Allen-Gullion working on the outside, gets that screen. Works her way around, it gets up, looks to draw the contact, no whistle forthcoming there. But again, look at the effort from the Mountaineers, so getting back on defence.
Willox, the settler for the visitors. She
Yeah,
rolls that one in.
So it looks as though the Rip obviously going back into that half-court zone, potentially. So again, and that's what has been fantastic effort there from Gullion getting to the lane. But that's where, again, for the first time in this match, because of that extra effort and offense that the Mountaineers have been able to produce, it's for the first time it's seen the Rip have to adjust in some way, because honestly they've done the same thing for a quarter and a half so far, and they haven't had to make any adjustments whatsoever. But we've seen in these last few minutes, the result of Allen-Gullion getting a couple of buckets inside has seen the Rip drop back into that zone. So we'll see what comes of the last few minutes here. A pretty important 3 minutes to lead up before half time, as Allen-Gullion drops 1 from 2.
Leads back to 10.
Now into this full court press. So
Good adjustments made from the Rip. They seem to be a bit more comfortable in the backcourt. That time turning it over, and Spees comes up with the steal. Pushes, finds Mickelson on the wing. She's got a 3 of a going up and no good there. Rip pushing again, as they've done all night, pushing the ball up the court in transition.
Great defense.
Stegman. The ball ended up in Holt there, and she seemed to just not know what to do with it. Hayes checks in for Spees.
So now this is a really key area for the Mountaineers. So Spees off the court, so between her and Kayla Allen-Gullion is where they've got that punch both offensively and defensively, but probably importantly as well, just in getting the ball over half court. So Allen-Gullion now.
Good effort there from the Rip, getting back in transition, forced the deflection. And
so they'll get another opportunity here. The Mountaineers, 2 minutes 20 to play here, down 10.
Hayes with the inbound to Mickelson. So she'll run a bit of high on ball action with Gullion. Copped it on the arm there and pinged it up towards the rim, but she'll go to the line and shoot 2. So
Again, being aggressive and getting to the bucket, I think that's important at this stage. So the ball just not dropping for her from the outside. But if, you know, Steve, the best way to get going for a shooter is get to the line. A few cheapies.
Well, you missed it. Closer to the one going in.